Welcome back to the show, everyone. I feel like we just started, but here we are at the final deep dive of our series on breaking free from toxic family systems.
Wow, that went by fast.
It really did. But we've covered a lot of ground, haven't we?
We have everything from those early steps of recognizing harmful patterns to finally setting those boundaries.
Boundaries. Remember how tough that topic felt at first?
Yeah,
But I'm so glad we tackled it head on.
yeah, definitely. And I hope that everyone listening has found at least one or two helpful strategies along the way.
I hope so too.
Mm,
But you know something? This journey, it isn't just about escaping negativity, is it?
you're right, it isn't.
It's about what comes next. About building something new and positive in its place.
You hit the nail on the head, and that's exactly what we're focusing on today, rebuilding connection.
Rebuilding connection.
But on your own terms.
On your own terms. I like that. We'll be diving into some amazing insights from the Fundamental Foundations Counseling Center. Great source. They're doing such great work. And for anyone listening who's in Texas and looking for additional support, their number is 214-475-0345.
Absolutely. Now, jumping into the content, one thing that really resonates with me is how this final piece of the series, it addresses something so fundamental,
Okay.
that inherent human need for connection.
We all crave it, don't we?
We do, but it gets complicated.
It does.
What happens when it's your own family?
Your biological family.
Exactly, the very source of your
It
pain.
makes you question.
Everything. It can make connecting with anyone feel like a risk.
Like an alarm bell goes off.
Right. You know it's not safe.
The source material uses that phrase black sheep, which I think so many of us can relate to.
Yeah, black sheep. You don't belong.
You're different. You don't belong.
And over time,
You start to question.
the whole idea of connection,
Absolutely. But
this is where that message of hope comes in.
I love a good message of hope.
Just because your experience with family has been hurtful,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean you're destined to be alone.
Okay, that's powerful. So where do we go from there?
Right. We have to acknowledge
It's a huge jump.
this idea of finding safe and supportive community.
Safe and supportive communities.
Feels huge.
It does. It's like, okay, great in theory, but how?
You know, you might be surprised at how accessible some of these communities are.
Really?
Think of it this way. Close your eyes for a moment
Okay.
and imagine finally feeling seen and accepted
Ask her.
after years of feeling like an outsider.
Wow.
That's the power these communities can have.
That's powerful. The source breaks down these benefits.
Yeah, it lists breaking isolation,
Emotional validation.
encouraging growth.
Even modeling healthy relationships.
You know, are those just nice-sounding words?
Or is there real science behind this?
There's fascinating research that backs this up. It's not just feel-good stuff.
Okay, lay it on me.
Studies have shown
Yeah.
people who feel a strong sense of belonging,
In their communities.
yes, they have better mental and physical health.
wow.
They're more resilient to stress.
Oh, it's huge these days.
Right. And they even report higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction.
Wow. Okay. So it's not just about feeling good.
It's about
Actual measurable
measurable
well-being.
You got it.
Okay, so this is where it gets even more interesting for me.
Oh, yeah.
The concept of chosen family.
Ooh, interesting, right?
I'll admit it, at first it sounded
Well,
a little woo-woo to me.
I get it.
But the way the source explains it,
It really flips the script on what we traditionally think of as family.
it does. It highlights how biological ties,
Yeah, while they're important.
they can come with these unspoken obligations.
Unspoken obligation.
And even unhealthy dynamics.
Exactly.
Chosen family, on the other hand,
It's all about building those relationships.
based on mutual choice and genuine connection.
You got it.
So less about who you're related to and more about who you choose to let into your life. The
Nice.
people who bring you joy, support.
And that sense of belonging.
Oh, I can already imagine some listeners thinking,
What are they thinking?
okay, great, but where do I find these people?
You know, I love that you bring that up.
It's a valid question.
The source doesn't just leave us hanging with this feel-good concept.
Okay, good, because I was a little worried for a second.
It gives some really tangible resources.
Like what?
Like from therapy to online communities.
Oh, interesting.
And even specific book recommendations.
It's sold.
It's all laid out.
Let's dive in. First step.
First step.
Someone's feeling ready to explore this idea of building their chosen family.
Where do they start?
What's that first step they could take?
Well, therapy is a great place to start.
Okay. Therapy?
But it's not about fixing you.
Oh, good.
It's about having a safe space.
To untangle.
All those complicated feelings that come with toxic family dynamics.
Yeah, those are tangled for sure.
And then developing strategies for building healthy relationships moving forward.
Oh, so it's like giving you the tools.
The tools and support you need.
To create the life you want.
Exactly.
Makes sense. But therapy can feel like a big step.
It can.
And it's not accessible for everyone.
You're right. What about those online communities?
Online communities.
Okay, they are incredible for finding that support and validation.
Okay, how so?
The source actually mentions specific Reddit communities.
Okay.
Like restrained adult children.
Restrained adult children.
And RCPTSD.
RCPTSD.
Imagine this.
Yeah.
You're connecting with others who understand exactly what you're going through.
Wow.
Even if it's just virtually.
That's powerful.
It can be incredibly powerful. It's
Right.
like having a global support group right at your fingertips.
At your fingertips.
Much less intimidating than walking into a therapist's office for the first time.
For sure. Okay, so Reddit.
But it's not just Reddit.
Oh, there's more.
Facebook groups.
Facebook groups.
Another fantastic resource.
What kind of Facebook groups we're talking about here?
So many dedicated to emotional healing and estrangement.
Okay.
They offer that same sense of community and shared understanding.
It's amazing how accessible these online resources are.
It is.
It's really about taking that first step, however small, towards building those connections.
That's it.
But what about those who prefer those face-to-face interactions?
Right. The source mentions meetup.com.
Meetup.com.
And organizations like NAMI.
Yeah.
NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of them.
As great places to find local support groups.
Local support groups?
And even virtual ones.
There really is something for everyone.
There is.
It's so inspiring to see all these different avenues.
All these avenues.
For connecting with others who get it.
Now we can't forget about the bookworms in our audience.
Oh, the bookworms. They're going to love this.
One that stood out to me
Yeah?
was Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents.
Ooh, that title is powerful.
By Lindsay C. Gibson.
Oh, okay, write that down.
It really speaks to those who've grown up with parents who were emotionally unavailable.
Emotionally unavailable?
Or even toxic.
I'm adding that to my reading list right now. It sounds like a great resource.
It is.
For understanding those complex family dynamics.
Absolutely.
And starting to heal from those wounds.
You got it.
What other books are on the list?
Well, for understanding how trauma impacts us.
Trauma.
Yeah.
Huge topic.
There's The Body Keeps the Score.
The Body Keeps the Score. I've heard so much about this one.
By Bessel van der Kolk.
Okay, got to check that one out.
A profound exploration of how trauma is stored in the body.
In the body.
And it offers practical tools for healing.
It seems like it could be really eye-opening.
It is.
Especially for those who've experienced toxic family dynamics.
Absolutely.
Okay, what else? Boundaries. That's something we've talked a lot about in this series.
It is crucial.
And I know it can be a real struggle for people.
It can.
Especially when it comes to family.
For sure. If you're struggling with setting boundaries, set boundaries. Find Peace by Nedra Glover Tawwab.
Writing that one down.
Yeah.
Set boundaries. Find peace.
It's a fantastic resource, packed with practical tips and real-world examples.
I love that combination.
Yeah.
Practical and real world.
It's what we need.
Okay, last book. What do we got?
Last but not least.
Hit me.
It Didn't Start With You by Mark Woolen.
It Didn't Start With You.
Okay. Which delves into the fascinating world of generational trauma.
Oh, wow. Generational trauma. That's a whole other layer.
It is.
It explores how inherited patterns can impact
our beliefs, our behaviors,
and our relationships.
You got it. It makes you realize that healing isn't just about addressing your own individual experiences.
Right.
It's about recognizing how family patterns
ripple
through generations.
Wow. That is some deep stuff. It's like a reminder that even though this is our final episode,
the final episode of the series,
the journey itself is far from over.
This is just the beginning.
It is. This is just the beginning of your exploration.
I'm so excited to see where it takes you.
Me too.
Me too. You know something that really struck me in all of this material?
What's it?
Rebuilding connections. It isn't always about fixing things with your biological family.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It is.
I think there's so much pressure.
Oh, yeah.
Societal and often internal pressure to make things work with family no matter what.
Make it work.
But this piece is really challenging that, isn't it?
It is.
It's like, wait a minute.
It's okay.
It might be another way.
And it's not about being cold-hearted or unforgiving.
It's about what?
Prioritizing your own well-being.
Taking care of yourself.
Your mental and emotional health. It's an act of self-love
to step away from those relationships
that are causing you pain.
So creating that distance,
Distance.
setting those boundaries we talked about
Boundaries are key.
to protect yourself
Protect yourself
from further hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean it has to be permanent.
Exactly. It's about finding what works for you in this moment.
In this moment,
Maybe it's a temporary break.
to gain some clarity.
Or maybe it's a more permanent decision.
It could be.
The key is to
Listen to your intuition.
trust your gut feeling about what's best for you.
And to remember,
What?
you have the right to change your mind.
You do.
As you evolve and grow.
Because what's healthy for you today?
Might look different tomorrow.
Exactly. This whole conversation about chosen family,
Yeah.
rebuilding connection on your own terms.
It's so liberating.
It is. It's like you're taking back control.
It's back control.
Of your life, your narrative.
Writing your own story.
Yes. And that's where this idea of inherent worthiness comes in.
Inherent worthiness. What do you mean by that?
It's about recognizing that you are worthy of love and belonging.
Regardless of
what your biological family may have led you to believe.
Oh, that's powerful.
And when you surround yourself with people who see that worth,
To celebrate it.
that's when you can truly blossom.
I love that. It's about finding those people.
Finding your people.
Make you feel seen and accepted for exactly who you are.
Exactly.
And the beauty of it is that chosen family can come from all sorts of places.
It can.
Friends, mentors, colleagues, even people you connect with online.
It's like building this beautiful tapestry.
A tapestry.
Of relationships that bring you joy.
Support.
And a sense of belonging.
This all sounds wonderful in theory, but does this source offer any real-life examples?
Examples how this plays out.
Like how people have actually built these fulfilling chosen families?
Yeah. I want to hear stories.
I get it. It would be awesome to hear those stories.
It would.
The material doesn't get into specific case studies, but it does highlight
The ingredients.
the key ingredients for creating those healthy connections.
Okay. I'm all ears. What makes these chosen family relationships so special?
First and foremost,
Lay on me.
shared values.
Shared values.
Finding people who resonate with your worldview, your aspirations.
People who get you.
People who get you.
On a fundamental level.
Yeah. It's more than just
surface level compatibility. Exactly. It's about those core beliefs and values.
the things that shape who you are.
How you see the world.
Okay, so shared values is number one.
Shared values.
Yeah.
Then look for people who celebrate your quirks.
My quirks.
Who embrace your authenticity.
Oh, I like that.
Those who love you for you.
Flaws and all.
Flaws and all. It's like finding your tribe.
My tribe.
Those who make you feel safe to be your true self.
Your true, unapologetic self.
Exactly. And that kind of acceptance and validation.
It could be really healing.
Especially for those who haven't experienced that in their biological families.
Absolutely. It's like
a haven.
a safe space.
Where you can find.
Let your guard down.
And just be.
That's beautiful. But it's not just about receiving support, is it?
It's not.
There's more to it.
Chosen family is built on.
Mutual respect.
The rest.
And shared experiences.
It's about showing up for each other.
Being present.
Actively nurturing those connections.
So it's not a passive thing.
It's not.
It takes effort.
It takes intentionality.
To make it work.
Just like any relationship worth having.
Worth having.
Chosen family requires tending and care.
Tending and care.
It's about creating space.
For vulnerability.
For sharing your true self.
Without fear of judgment.
Or rejection. Because that's where the magic happens.
A magic.
In that space of deep connection and authentic sharing.
You know, something I really appreciate about all of this
What's that?
is that this material emphasizes
Yeah.
that chosen family doesn't have to look a certain way
It doesn't.
or fit into a traditional mold.
It can be whatever you want it to be.
It can be whatever you want it to be.
A small, intimate group of close friends.
Okay.
A sprawling network of mentors and kindred spirits.
No right or wrong way to do it.
No right or wrong way to do it.
It's about creating a support system that feels authentic and fulfilling.
Authentic and fulfilling?
For you.
For you.
Regardless of what society might dictate.
And just like you,
Yeah.
it can evolve and change over time.
It makes sense.
The key is to stay open to new connections.
New connections.
To be willing to put yourself out there.
Put yourself out there.
And build relationships that bring you joy and support.
This is all so empowering.
It is. It really
It's
is.
a reminder that you have the power to choose the people you want to be in your life.
The people who make you feel loved and accepted.
Okay, so we've talked about the why,
The why of building chosen family.
but I'm itching to get back to those practical resources.
Resources. We love resources.
We do. Where should our listeners start if they're feeling inspired to take action?
Well, if therapy feels like a good fit,
Yeah, therapy.
I encourage you to reach out to a qualified therapist.
You specializes in?
Family dynamics or trauma.
Okay, family dynamics or trauma.
And don't be afraid to shop around until you find someone you feel comfortable with.
That's important.
That sense of trust and rapport.
It's crucial.
It is.
And remember those specific therapy approaches we discussed?
Oh, yeah.
Schema therapy, CBT, IFS.
Those are great.
Those can be great starting points for exploration.
Absolutely. And for those who are looking for online communities, those Reddit communities we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, remind us.
For strange adult children and RCPTSD.
For strange adult children and RCPTSD.
Got it. Fantastic resources for connecting with others.
Who understand the complexities
of navigating toxic family systems.
And building a chosen family.
Exactly.
Okay, so Reddit. What else?
And don't underestimate the power of Facebook groups.
Facebook groups. What kind?
Tons of groups.
Dedicated to?
Emotional healing and estrangement.
Okay, emotional healing and estrangement.
They offer a safe space to share your story.
Share your story.
And connect with like-minded individuals.
It's amazing how technology can bring people together in such meaningful ways.
It is pretty amazing.
But for those who prefer those face-to-face interactions.
Face-to-face. Exploring local or virtual support groups.
Through organizations like
NAMI or Meetup.com.
NAMI or Meetup.com.
Those are great options.
Okay, those are good. And let's not forget about those book recommendations.
Oh, the books. Can't forget the books.
So many good ones. Where would you suggest our listeners start?
Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents.
Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents.
By Lindsay C. Gibson.
Okay, by Lindsay C. Gibson.
It's a fantastic place to start for understanding those complex family dynamics.
And starting to heal from those wounds.
Exactly.
Okay, what's next?
And for those wanting to delve into the impact of trauma.
Yeah, trauma.
The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk.
Yeah, trauma. The Body Keeps the Score.
Yeah.
By Bessel van der Kolk.
It's essential reading. Truly groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking in how?
In how it explores the profound ways trauma affects our bodies and minds.
Okay, that sounds like a heavy one.
It is, but it's so good.
Okay, what else?
And of course, we can't forget about boundaries.
Boundaries.
Set Boundaries, Find Peace.
Set Boundaries, Find Peace.
By Nedra Glover Tawwab.
By Nedra Glover Tawwab.
A practical guide packed with clear strategies and real-world examples.
Real-world examples. I love it.
For setting healthy boundaries.
So important.
Crucial in any relationship.
Even with family members.
Even with family. It's a reminder that you have the right to protect your well-being.
Protect your well-being.
Even if it means setting boundaries with family members.
Okay, and last but not least.
It Didn't Start With You by Mark Woolen.
It Didn't Start With You by Mark Woolen.
It explores the fascinating world of generational trauma.
Generational trauma. Wow.
Powerful resource for understanding how inherited patterns can impact our beliefs, behaviors, and relationships.
It can be eye-opening.
To recognize how these patterns might be playing out in your own life.
All of these books sound incredibly insightful.
They are.
I'm definitely adding them to my reading list.
Me too.
Me too.
And remember, even if you don't have access to all of these resources.
Yeah, not everyone does.
Even just taking one small step.
Like
joining an online community, reading a book, or reaching out to a therapist.
Those.
It can make a world of difference.
It's all about starting somewhere.
Starting somewhere.
Taking that first step towards healing and connection.
Healing and connection. And remembering.
Remembering what?
You are not alone on this journey.
You are not alone.
There are countless others.
Who have walked this path before you.
And are eager to offer support and encouragement.
That's a good reminder.
This whole conversation has been so incredibly inspiring and validating.
It really has.
It has.
I hope it's given our listeners the courage and tools.
The courage and the tools.
To start rebuilding connection on their own terms.
On their own terms.
To create a life filled with love, support, and authentic belonging.
They deserve nothing less.
They deserve nothing less. I love that. You know, it's so easy to get caught up in this idea that family has to look a certain way.
Right, like there's a mold or something.
Yeah, like it's all about blood ties and shared history.
But this source really challenges that notion.
It does, doesn't it?
Like it's giving us permission to broaden our definition of family.
To include
those who truly see us, support us.
And celebrate our authentic selves.
Exactly. And reminds us that we have the power to choose.
To choose the people we want in our lives.
The people who make us feel loved and accepted.
For exactly who we are.
Not who they think we should be.
Such a powerful shift in perspective.
It is. To recognize that family.
Isn't always something you're born into.
It can be something you cultivate, something you build intentionally
I love that.
over time
Brick by brick.
with care and love.
That's beautifully said.
Mm-hmm.
And it's incredibly empowering, too.
It is.
It means even if your experience with your biological family has been hurtful,
Yeah.
you're not destined to repeat those patterns.
You have the freedom to break free.
To write a new story.
A new chapter.
Where you define what family means to you.
You get to decide.
And that might mean making some tough choices.
It might.
Like letting go of relationships that no longer serve you.
Even if those relationships
are with people you've known your whole life.
It's never easy.
It's not.
But sometimes it's the most loving thing you can do.
For yourself.
And for the other person, too.
Because staying in a toxic or unhealthy relationship
doesn't benefit anyone.
It keeps everyone stuck.
In those painful patterns.
And prevents you from experiencing the joy.
The fulfillment.
That comes with those healthy, supportive connections.
Exactly. That's what I want to focus on for a moment.
What's that?
What it truly means to create those healthy connections.
To build a chosen family.
That truly nourishes your soul.
Yes. Let's get practical here. Key ingredients.
Key ingredients.
Where do we begin?
Well, remember how we talked about shared values?
Shared values.
Yeah, that's fundamental.
Okay.
Find people who resonate with your worldview.
With my worldview.
Your aspirations. People who get you on that deeper level.
More than just surface level compatibility.
Exactly. It's about those core beliefs and values that shape who you are.
And how you see the world.
And beyond shared values.
Okay.
Look for people who celebrate your quirks.
My quirks.
Who embrace your authenticity, those who love you for you, flaws and all.
It's like finding your tribe.
Your tribe, those who make you feel safe to be your true, unapologetic self.
I love that. And I imagine that kind of acceptance and validation can be so healing.
It is.
Especially for those who haven't experienced that in their biological families.
Absolutely. It's like a balm for the soul, isn't it?
It is.
To finally feel seen and understood.
For who you truly are.
But chosen family isn't just about receiving support.
It's about giving back, too.
It's about reciprocating it, showing up for each other, being present.
Actively nurturing those connections.
It's a two-way street.
It takes effort.
Making time for each other.
And being there.
Through thick and thin.
So it's not just something that happens passively.
It's about creating a space where vulnerability is welcomed.
Vulnerability.
Where you can share your true self without fear of judgment or rejection.
I love that. And you know what else I love about this whole concept of chosen family?
What's that?
It doesn't have to fit into any kind of mold.
It doesn't. It can look however you want it to look.
It could be a small, intimate group of close friends.
I could be.
A sprawling network of mentors, colleagues, and kindred spirits.
It's your choice.
There's no right or wrong way to do it.
Exactly.
It's about creating a support system.
That feels authentic and fulfilling for you.
Regardless of what society might dictate.
And just like you,
Go.
Your chosen family can evolve and change over time.
Makes sense.
The key is to stay open to new connections.
New connections.
To be willing to put yourself out there and build relationships.
They bring you joy and support.
That's it.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, this whole series on breaking free from toxic family systems.
It's been quite a journey.
It really has. I want to leave our listeners with a powerful message.
From the source material.
It says, your journey toward healing, connection, and self-acceptance is just beginning.
I love that.
A beautiful reminder
that this isn't a destination,
but an ongoing process
of self-discovery and growth.
And it's a journey that's uniquely yours.
You get to define the path,
the pace,
and the destination.
So embrace the adventure.
Trust your intuition.
And surround yourself with people who light you up, who make you feel alive.
Because you are worthy of love,
belonging,
and connection.
Exactly as you are.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Go out there and create the family of your dreams.
The one that nourishes your soul.
And makes your heart sing.
And remember, we're always here cheering you on. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep shining bright.
Take control of your mental health with our membership program. Enjoy priority scheduling, session rollovers, and in-office and virtual appointments when you need them. Fundamental Foundations Counseling Center offers affordable plans tailored to your needs because your wellness matters. Visit fundamentalfoundcounseling.com to join today.